Greetings, Uncle Travelling Matt here, reporting on my final day of my Germany trip. Not a full day because I was flying back in the mid to late afternoon, but I still managed to get some stuff done. So up quite early by my standards, had my coffee and cake, and then went to see my 6th Romanesque church, and it was one very near the cathedral and the railway station, St. Andreas, one of the biggest ones, established in 974. There are some serious Gothic elements to it. It was damaged during the war, like all of the others. But what makes this Romanesque church special is that it contains a Roman sarcophagus, and inside the Roman sarcophagus are the remains of Saint Albertus Magnus, to Saint Albert the Great, and he is apparently the most important German theologian ever. The most, probably in the Middle Ages, the most important theologian. He's the guy who studied Aristotle and basically brought Aristotle back to the West after he'd been lost, and he also studied some of the Muslim philosophers like Avicenna and Averroes, and he studied Neoplatonism and brought those very ancient ideas back into the West, which of course laid the grounding for the Renaissance. So very, very important. And, it's curious because there are these monumental figures in history that we never really hear of and have changed our lives. You know, the ideas that he studied and popularized and brought back to us, have changed the lives of each and every one of us. And yet we never realize. And even in his home city, most people don't realize he's there. So there we are. St. Albertus Magnus. So, yes, went to see his shrine, and then I took the train to Dusseldorf. Well, I had trains there a couple of days before, but on the way to Wuppertal, but I hadn't stopped. I'd hoped to. So I thought, well, okay, I've got half a day. Let's go and have a look around Dusseldorf. The station was literally nothing special, but I went out, and I just walked through the centre, and I walked... basically, I headed, I think it's north, and through the centre, again, a lot of post-war rebuilding. I don't think Dusseldorf was ever the most beautiful city in the first place anyway. But notable bits, there was the Konings Alley, the King's Alley, which is this great roadway with a canal in the middle, a bit like Amsterdam. And then I actually went and hit the Rhine itself, that had a feel of like one of the Dutch cities. It felt very much like a Dutch city, or like Antwerp. And of course, it's not that far away. And in many ways, it grew up in the same way as Rotterdam or Antwerp. It's a port, it's industry. Went through the old town, the Burgplatz and the Marktplatz. And it was very nice, but I just kept walking, and then, when I was tired and I got as far as I wanted to go, I took the underground back. And that was that. So that was my little exploration of Dusseldorf, so I can tick Dusseldorf off on my list. It looked like the kind of place it would probably be a lot of fun to visit for a drinking trip. Not the prettiest city in the world, but probably good for a few beers. And indeed, I think Holger had said that if you're going to go drinking in Cologne or Dusseldorf is a better one. So the beer is better, apparently. So that was that. And that was the end of my Rhine-Ruhr Region explorations. Going back to the airport and taking the plane home. What do I think of my trip? I had a very good time. Do you know what? It was really fun. And it's one of those things that, like, those trips you're not that excited about. It's not somewhere you've always burned to go to, but you think, well, maybe that would be interesting. And often they prove to be the best ones because you don't expect a lot, and so what you get exceeds expectations. It was, I really enjoyed looking around Cologne. It's not as pretty as some people might think, but it's still a fascinating city, and I could spend another day or two there. There's loads more to see there. Probably wouldn't go back to Dusseldorf, Essen or Bonn. or Wuppertal, to be honest. I've seen what I want to see in them. But, I still haven't seen Dortmund. I still haven't seen Duisburg or Bochum. And there are other cities, like Munster is not so far away, and Paderborn, which I've long wanted to go to. So I think I may have another trip to that region, particularly since Holger said I could stay in his house. So, and I think the highlight had to be meeting up with Holger. I'd forgotten what a brilliant conversation it is. I just hope he comes over to England sometime and we can meet up and have a chat there. I loved every second spent in his company. Absolute wonderful man. So, yes, thank you for making my trip great. Also, my Indian pilgrim in Cologne Cathedral, she really made my day. What a lovely lady, and I hope her father gets better and recovers from his operation well and all that. In terms of sights, Wuppertal, I loved the hanging railway, the Schwebebahn or whatever it's called, and that's cool. That is really just one of those funky, off the wall things that is well worth seeing. But I also love that art gallery there, and of course the 2 thermal baths. What is there not to love about a thermal bath? So that's me, Uncle Travelling Matt, saying for the final time in this series of videos all about the Rhine-Ruhr region. Thanks for watching, and keep travelling.